What's going on, 49er faithful, 49er fam, 49er gang? This is your boy Niner Gang Podcast here, back with another video. So if you haven't already, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, turn on the post notifications so I can keep you up to date on any and everything San Francisco 49ers. With that being said, let's get right on into it. If you are watching on Instagram and you would like to subscribe to the channel, the link is in my bio, so definitely go ahead and hit that button. So this is just the game picks for week 9. Now, last week, we ain't do so well, man. 6-9, man. Look, a lot of people let me down. You know, I was definitely anticipating, the Bears. I kind of anticipated the 49ers winning that game. I really didn't think we were going to lose it, but I bet against us, just bet against us just to see what would happen. So when it comes down to the Falcons, they won. I didn't anticipate such. There were just a couple of games. I actually picked the Lions to get their first victory of the season, and the Eagles went in there and beat the crap out of them. So it kind of is what it is, man. But 6-9 last week puts me at 76-46 over, for the full season. I can't complain. That's a damn good record. I still did very well. So we're gonna jump on into the picks for week 9, and we start with the Jets versus the Colts. So the Jets come off an upset victory over the Bengals. Didn't see that one coming. I definitely picked the Bengals to win that. And Mike White proved to be a viable QB against a very good Bengals defense with 3 TDs. The Colts come off a loss to the Titans, but they barely lost by 3 points. They fought, just couldn't get the dub. Mike White and the Jets, again on offense with Wilson hurt, going with the Jets, Jets. So next game on the docket is going to be the Cardinals versus the 49ers. Cardinals are coming off their first loss of the season to the Packers, and they have a situation in Green Bay. Rodgers isn't vaccinated and has COVID. So let's see what Jordan Love has to offer, and if the sitting and learning effect has the right effect on Jordan Love. The 49ers are coming off a win against the Bears that snaps a 4-game losing streak. They are coming home to play the Cardinals. The last game in AZ, last game was in AZ, and Lance started, and we only lost by 7. The offense was moving. Kyler was contained, and it was a fight. Coming into this game, there were questions about if Kyler could go due to spraining his ankle versus Green Bay, but it looks like they will keep him out of practice for most of the week, and he will be ready to go with the extra rest due to Green Bay being the Thursday night game. Not sure the status of D-Hop. He had a hamstring issue last week and was in and out of the game, not very effective, only 2 catches for 66 yards. But he should be ready to go, but hopefully we can limit him in this game. The biggest worry about this game is we're at home, and we just can't win from over a year ago, man. We haven't won at home in more than a year, and that's really sad. Jimmy is still the starter from a reliable source. In the Bears game, Kyle was heard scolding Jimmy, stating, hey, can you do this? It's simple stuff, because as usual, the first half wasn't fantastic offensively. The second half is where things picked up. Defense didn't look so good last week, but we look to pick it up at home and build on the confidence of the win against the Bears. With all that being said, I'll do a separate video on this game. This game pick for this week will be the Cardinals. Kyler starts, and the homegrown losing streak continues, unfortunately. So the Browns versus the Bengals. Browns coming off a division loss to the Steelers, only by 5 points, and the Bengals coming off a heartbreaking loss to the lowly Jets. With that being said, this will be another fun division battle to watch as teams jockey for position in the conference, taking the Bengals in this one. Baker might be a little limited with that injury, still not trusting that he's fully healthy. So the next game on the docket is going to be the Broncos versus the Cowboys. The Broncos are coming off a win and sitting at 500 and currently not out of the AFC West battle by far. The Cowboys are coming off a close win against the Vikings, but are rolling with a stranglehold on the NFC least. Not much research needed for me. Taking the Cowboys in this one. And the Broncos just traded Von Miller, the defensive star, to the Rams as well. So the defense will be just that much more susceptible to attacks. The Texans versus the Dolphins. This is the battle of the 1-17. So with that being said, not a lot of research needed. Just take who you think will win. Going with the Dolphins in this one. So Falcons versus the Saints. The Falcons coming off a loss, and the Saints coming off a win over the division rival Bucks. Trevor Siemian gets the dub over Brady, probably the biggest win of his career. Taking the Saints in this one, the Falcons won't be able to beat them. That defense is terrible. Raiders versus the Giants. Not digging into this game much. Raiders, Patriots versus the Panthers. Patriots. Bills versus the Jags. Bills. Vikings versus the Ravens. Ravens. So after that, we have the Chargers versus the Eagles. Chargers come off a loss by 3, and the Eagles come off a beatdown of the Lions. Very simple decision, though. Bolt up, baby. Let's go Chargers. Titans versus the Rams. Both teams are coming off a win and adding to their squads a few viable first ballot Hall of Famers. The Rams adding Von Miller to an already stout defense, and the Titans, with the unfortunate injury to King Henry, add the man who did it all before him and runs just like him all day, AP Adrian Peterson. This will be a great game to watch and an even harder game to pick. Going with the Titans on this one, the key is simple. Stop Kupp and you can win the game. He's the main target for Stafford, and the receiving game force him to go elsewhere, and the drop-off is immense. Now, the reason that I state what I stated about Cooper Kupp is I'm just going to give you the statistical receiving stats for the LA Rams and Cooper Kupp versus everybody else. So it seems like Matthew Stafford always finds himself a security blanket, guys that he can depend on to do anything and everything, and guys that he likes. He had it in Detroit with Calvin Johnson. He also had it with like Marvin Jones Jr. and several other receivers. But if you look at the Rams, the difference between one from Cooper Kupp to the rest of the receivers is flat out outrageous. Let's take a look here. Just pulling up these stats, man. This is flat out ridiculous. So Cooper Kupp, 63 receptions, 924 yards. So all he only needs, 54 yards, and that's it. You know what I'm saying? He's got his 64 yards, and he's got his 66. I'm so sorry. He's got his 1,000 yards for the season already, and we only 9 games into the season, so you got to think about that. So with that being said, Cooper Kupp, 947 yards, 14.7 yards per average, and 10 TDs. Biggest play was 59 yards. So next up, Robert Woods, 38 receptions. Next up, Van Jefferson, 24. Tyler Higbee, 30. Like, that's a huge drop-off. And then look at the yardage. Robert Woods, 458, only 4 touchdowns. Van Jefferson, 392 yards, just 3 touchdowns. So while Van Jefferson and Deshaun Jackson are averaging more yards per catch than Cooper Kupp, he still has way more yards. He has 6 more TDs than anybody. The next closest guy is Robert Woods with 4. So you look at that and you say to yourself, how do we stop the Rams? It's very simple. Stop Cooper Kupp. That's exactly how you work that, man, because running game, not really effective. They only have 1 rushing touchdown this season. 1. Everything has come through the air. So Darrell Henderson Jr. has 507 yards. Sonny Michel behind him has 251. So, I mean, they got 833 yards total, but they're not really focusing on the run. With Stafford there, they're throwing the shit out of that ball, and they're throwing it to Cooper Kupp, which is why I keyed in on that. Stop Cooper Kupp. You don't have to worry about the rest of the guys. They shouldn't really do too much. Next game on the docket is the Monday Night Football game. I'm not going to dig a lot of this one. It's the Bears versus the Steelers. The Bears put up a good fight against the Niners, but I'm taking the Steelers in this to keep their 1-game win streak going and turn it into a 2-game win streak. So this strictly was just a picks, a little thing for us, you know what I'm saying, for you guys. I just did a picks thing like I normally do. Sorry, I haven't been very active, but I will be active. I'll probably come on a little later tonight or possibly even tomorrow, maybe Saturday morning, something like that, to go ahead and get the Niners versus Cardinals game covered. See if I can bring me on a couple of little guests, be able to make sure everything is working. Shout out to everybody out there in Niner Nation. Shout out to everybody that watches football. Hopefully all of your teams will get the dub and provide you some peace and some happiness for the weekend. I am hoping that the Niners win, but not very confident, strictly based on the fact of us winding up in a situation where we're at home and we just don't win at home. You would like them to keep the win streak going, but Kyler Murray is going to go. That's just as I stated, when I was talking to everybody, I was telling everybody, look, man, the man had extra rest. It's an ankle sprain, and it's just a regular ankle sprain. So all you have to do is make sure that you don't, that you rehab it properly. You don't put a lot of weight on it, and you don't re-aggravate the injury by forcing him to practice. He knows the offense. He has, a very good grasp of it. So there's no need for him to, go ahead and practice and try to build a rapport with receivers, which he's already built a rapport with. The only person he might need to build a rapport with is Zach Ertz, but he didn't look like he had a problem with Zach Ertz last week. So with that being said, I'll go ahead and bring us another video for the Cardinals versus the 49ers. It is a home game. So if you are in Arizona, it's easy. You just turn the TV on, boom, there it is. You can even watch it on regular local television. You don't even need cable or nothing. But everybody have a wonderful day. Have a blessed weekend. Continue to stay faithful, and we'll see if we possibly can bring our home fans their first win at home in God knows how long, because Lord knows it's overdue, but I'm not very confident that we can pull it off. Thank you very much. Y'all stay faithful, stay blessed, and I am out this joint. Pioneer, I appreciate you, man. Thank you. Appreciate that comment there, man. Thanks for, on Croc. Yeah, I always jump on Croc Show, man. I love that dude. He's always super cool. Got to get him on here. Matt Moses, big dog, what's happening with you? And thank you to everyone who joined me on Instagram.